Makeup.
Yeah. Let's tilt you down a little. Stay. There's you. There's moi.
I have no readout.
What do you mean?
I have no display.
Of yourself? Yeah. It's on the other side over here.
Ah.
You're right here.
Okay.
Are you?
Now there's a display.
You good with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay. Okay. Here it goes. By the way, I can't wait to get this computer into another room so you can't hear the whole time. It's quite loud.
Romiski show is back again. You obviously still haven't found work. So we'll do whatever we can do to entertain you, which probably won't be much, but we're going to do what we can do. We're here on Friday as usual, and after our somewhat lengthy study of the internet to find out what significance this day had in history, we have found that
January 24th.
Yeah, anything that happened really wasn't significant.
Nothing of extreme importance. I got
nothing that.
Hold. Sorry. It's like creeping on me. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, nothing that really. We felt that you would like to know about.
Yeah, Wikipedia has something 41 AD, which no one gives a crap. Something in the Roman Empire happened. A university in India opened in 1857. No one cares. And then something important happened in the Vietnam War involving the Aussies Australian Task Force. First Australian Task Force got involved on.
Do you think that the people in Australia are like they are here, and they become offended at the term Aussie?
Oh, I don't know.
Like, you know, they would call us a Yank.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think of that. I wonder if you called Australian dude an Aussie boy if he would hate that.
Aussie boy.
Hey, Aussie boy.
Hey, Aussie boy.
I know if somebody called me some cracker boy, I don't know if I'd like that, but I don't know if Aussie and cracker are the same thing.
I don't care what people call me at all.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm Nathan Betts, by the way. Hi, I'm here too.
Yeah. And you know who I am. So.
Yeah, that's.
Well, you know, honestly, I don't, man. I've been called a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I really don't care because that's their opinion, and
yeah,
their opinion of who I am as an individual really means about as much to me as this day's history.
Yeah. In high school, I had a little rough patch growing up through high school. I got stigmatized as the new kid or whatever. I had like the new kid stink on me or whatever.
That new kid smell.
That new kid smell. And so some Weisenheimer on the football team decided it was a good idea to start a rumor about me that I was gay because I was getting all the attention from the females, of course. So,
and that would mark you as a gay individual,
right? So I to this day also don't really give two shits about what I'm called either. Because I've been ran the gamut. I was called, and I know this is a offensive term to a lot of people, but I was called a faggot. I was called a lot of things. So there's a lot of things that really just don't bother me.
I'm trying to make sense of the reasoning behind. Ooh, all the girls are hanging around him, so he must be gay.
Right. Yeah.
Is that something to justify why they're not hanging around you in your own mind?
It was some way of justifying in their weird brain that, okay, new boy's getting new attention. Maybe if we defame him on his sexual level, maybe we can undo this.
Let's take him down a few pegs.
Take him down a notch. Yeah. So that's the only thing I can think of.
That never works.
Yeah.
That just makes more people pay attention.
Especially if you take the route that I ultimately eventually convinced myself to take, because it was hurtful and I had a hard time dealing with it, but I eventually just took the, okay, who cares? Screw you guys. And just kind of like, I didn't necessarily embrace it because I'm not gay, but I was just like, all right, if that's what you think.
Whatever gets you through the day.
Yeah, it's not going to ruin mine, so yeah.
Who cares? So, I just chose not to attend school.
Oh, that's smart too.
It really didn't matter.
When did you quit? What grade?
It wasn't like I just suddenly quit. It kind of tapered off.
It was a slow.
One interest was peaking while another interest was declining.
Was waning, yeah.
Yeah, it probably happened over, I would say, the period of a year.
Yeah.
Where I just decided, well, having a lot more fun doing that, racing motorcycles and hanging out than I am.
Can you remember a specific? Yeah. Can you remember a specific day when it was like I'm supposed to be at school, but F it, I'm gonna go do this.
I remember when I quit going to school altogether.
Yeah.
Because I had turned 17 years old. Mm-hmm. And I knew at that point I wasn't going to graduate high school. I mean, I wasn't the brainiest kid in the world, but I wasn't that stupid.
So junior in high school, this decision was made then, ish? 17 sounds like a junior.
I would say it was the junior year, yeah. And I went down to the recruiter and took all the tests and all that kind of stuff. And they go, well, yeah, all you got to do is get your parents to sign this paper right here, and you're in.
Done.
I'm done with school.
Yeah.
I ain't going back to school.
Yeah.
You know what? They can call and raise all the stink they want,
sure.
But I ain't going back to school. And I did. I got the signature, and
from your dad or your mom or both?
Both.
Wow.
It took, the old man signed it, threw it across the table. So as he saw it, it was like, well, man, we get rid of the last kid.
Done and done.
It took Mom a couple of days.
Yeah.
And she finally collapsed and gave it to me with a tear in her eye and all that kind of, how moms are.
Sure.
And, I would say 40 days after that, I was standing on the yellow footprints wondering what in the world I'd
What have I done with myself, and why did I do it?
Yeah, this isn't right.
I shouldn't have done this. I regret this decision.
Oh, no, but you know what? In retrospect, I don't regret not 1 minute of it, because it was an incredible experience.
4 years?
4 years active, 2 years in
reserve.
Yeah.
So done by 23?
Oh, I was done by the time I was 21.
21.
With active duty.
Yeah.
Got
and
my
then
final. Yeah, they yanked my ID card at 23.
Yeah.
And think of it, man. As a teenager, you're out traipsing around the Pacific, man, seeing countries and stuff,
and people and ladies and
playing with cool equipment, and,
right? Things that go boom in the night. Yeah.
I remember my graduating class came to Hawaii, where I was stationed. That was my home station at the time. And I had already been there for a year and a half almost.
So you knew the location.
When they graduated high school, man, I was an E3 in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And that was a bizarre feeling because I met up with some old friends and stuff, and we hung out.
How did you happen to bump into them? How did that take place?
I knew they were there. Oh. I knew what day they graduated, and I had loose contact with people at home. They were my friends and stuff, and I knew they were coming over there, and one had to do nothing but walk up the street in the general vicinity where they were staying and then go, hey.
Nice.
Where are they at? Well, they're on such and such floor and such hotel.
Done.
Check it out.
Nice.
And just, do what you do. You follow the trail to your...
the trail of tears and slobbering drunks.
To your buds. And, we rented a car, and I took some friends out around, and we did some diving and, farting around the island and stuff. And, then they were gone. And
and then you were
back to,
and you were stuck with going back to work.
Back to what I was doing. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, but it was interesting.
Now, so that took you till you were 23. What did you do? What did you do when you got to you were done with the military completely at 23? What were you doing at that time?
When I got out, we were just finishing the Carter administration. We were in the last year of the Carter, so it was a lot like it is now.
Okay.
For those who are old enough to recall, they're shaking their heads yes.
Nodding, right, going, oh yes.
And work was hard to come by. So and in those days, and you know what, probably still in these days, when you get out and you see all this stuff on TV about how, you got to hire a vet and do blah, blah, blah. People don't do that.
Right.
Man. You're kind of pushed to the side. So I took the first job that came along, which was being a laborer on a construction site. Basically picking up
trash and
it was a check.
Yeah.
So I did it, and then I got hired on being an industrial insulator out in the refineries in the San Francisco Bay Area, and ended up doing that for quite some time actually.
What did that entail?
Insulating pipe and tanks and putting sheet metal on stuff, sheet aluminum, and there's so many different things. You can't really just size it up. But a lot of things are insulated, and this is big insulation jobs that take like 30 days.
Yeah, days and days.
Yeah, which that turned into an asbestos removal deal.
Oh, good.
But I could take up a whole show on that. I won't get into it. But then I got an offer of civil service out at Travis Air Force Base, and I went to work as a civil service guy out at Travis Air Force Base. And you got to break in at the bottom, you know what I mean? So what I was basically a wet cleanup on aisle 4.
The trash guy basically.
At the commissary,
goody.
because it was a way to get in. So I did it.
Yeah.
And their cardboard baling machine had broken down, and during the process of a day, they were just throwing these boxes in this big fenced area, and the garbage truck guy would come, and I would go out and help him, and it would take hours to get all these boxes thrown in this garbage truck and packed in. And his name was Barney Leach.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the best guys I've ever met in my life. Korean War veteran, Marine. And he saw the tattoo on my arm. He said, you were a Marine. Yeah. Matter of 6 months ago.
Yeah. Up until a few days ago. kind of lost now.
And he came back 2 or 3 more days, and we would talk, and he'd ask me questions of what the Corps was like now, and I would ask him, what it was like then, and how this stuff goes back and forth. Finally, he looks at me and goes, "You want a job?" I'm doing what? You're driving a goddamn garbage truck. What the hell you think?
I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be at my office Monday morning. I go, "Well, what about this job here?" "I'll take care of that." Done.
Right on.
And spent like 2 years driving a garbage truck out of Travis Air Force Base. Best job I ever had, man. You pick up the dumpsters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You drive up, boom, dump it in, go move on to the next one.
And then go empty your truck out and be done, huh?
Yeah, by 1:32 in the afternoon, you were through with your route. You'd go back and you'd drink coffee and tell lies with all the old dudes in there.
Awesome.
And, wait till 4:30 to roll around and go home and come back the next day and do it again.
Awesome.
And then they farmed that out to a civilian contractor, and that was the end of that.
When did you become an industrial painter? Pretty soon after that?
Well, I became a household painter after that, because when I had left that job, housing maintenance at Travis Air Force Base picked me up.
Okay.
Because they didn't want to just throw you out on the street. So, hey, do you want to be a painter? We got an open job there. Yeah, sure, why not? Beats being unemployed. So I went there and I learned to paint. And spent quite some time painting houses there.
And the only reason I bring that up is because he is now employing those same skills over again in our new business venture, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, and so from there, that job, it was like temporary, not to exceed a year. Well, the year rolled up and they didn't redo the job, so I had to go somewhere, and they didn't want, I wasn't a slough off. I did my job, and they wanted to keep me on, but they just couldn't. So they made some phone calls, so I went to work over at 60th Aerial Maintenance Squadron painting C-141s.
Oh, nice. Wow.
So it went from using an airless sprayer with house paint to using lacquer paint in a pneumatic sprayer.
Right. In like a huge industrial shop, right?
Yeah, it was a hangar.
Yeah. Crazy.
Got to bring the plane in.
Yeah.
And it would take 2 weeks to do one, and move it out and bring another one in.
Good Lord. What color were you painting them?
Actually, I did the wheel wells. Mine was white lacquer.
Okay.
And that's where all the electricity and the hydraulic lines are all in there. So all of that has to be masked off.
Oh my God.
So it takes a week.
Good Lord.
To mask it all off. Right?
Oh my God.
And then it takes about 2 days to shoot all the paint in there.
Yeah.
Then it takes the rest of the week to pull all the masking off. It actually takes a couple of days to get all the masking off. Then you got to wait to get it inspected. And you better do a good job, because if you have to do it over again,
you're going to get your ass chewed up.
Everybody is pissed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How many times did you do that?
Actually, I never had to have it redone.
Awesome.
There was a few things pointed out to me, and I was pointed out that, I was very fortunate that wasn't a cause to leave it. So I made sure it didn't happen again.
Yeah.
It's a learning process.
Sure.
That's the way people learn things. And, finally, it was about then that my trial marriage had finally
ran its course.
Yeah, it had run its course, which I thought that drinking and carousing was probably a better plan than working at that point.
Sure.
People's heads get kind of twisted around.
The trial marriage where she made the turkey for you, or a chicken for you one night and put it in the oven frozen. That woman, right?
Yes, that's the right one.
Thinking that it was gonna work out well for her, and smelled good, but you're like, it's still frozen.
You kind of get wind of why this didn't pan out.
Gotcha.
And I kind of started treating work like I did high school. And just
started slacking off.
Yeah, I went down a bad trail there, and that lasted. That ran through about a year. And then gradually started getting myself back together.
Sure.
And went to work at a wastewater treatment plant.
Where was this?
This was in Bagnville.
And so it went household painter, industrial painter to waste treatment.
Yes.
Okay.
And then at one point I went back to asbestos removal.
Okay.
Because it was good money.
Lucrative, yeah.
Yeah, so we went down to the Armco Steel Mill in Los Angeles, did a bunch of work there. Pretty much taking employment opportunities as I could find.
Right.
And
when a better one came along, you seized it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Did a lot of stuff.
Yeah, what did you do? Okay, so painter, wastewater treatment, asbestos removal. Oh, tell how you screwed over the wastewater treatment people.
Oh, by zeroing everything out?
Yes. So it took you like 2 years to dial that fucking thing in?
They came out with this system where they would mix polymers with the sludge that would come out. What it would do is it would coagulate all the solids and let the water run off. Well, we were in the process of trying to figure out the most optimal way to do it quickly because, people probably don't think about this. 7 o'clock in the morning, everybody's flushing a toilet,
everybody's
doing
getting
laundry
ready
and taking showers at 7, and it's like a tidal wave.
Yeah.
Comes down there. Well, you can get a lot built up, especially on the weekend when nobody's there, and people will call you up, go, man, the digesters are full. Okay. So we wanted to be able to drop the level of that toot sweet and get everything just so. And it took a long time to get these things figured out. And I'm walking around with a book, making notes and figuring stuff out.
And you're literally figuring it out as you go, basically walk in the door.
Because this was actually a Japanese system that we were trying to adopt to make work, which ultimately didn't. So they laid all my guys off except for me, and I was pretty much done with the job at the time. So I went, I'm out too. So I just turned all the dials back to 0.
And said, good luck.
Had some T-valves with gauges on them and stuff so they would know exactly where to tune. I took my book with me, threw the T-valves off to the side, and have a great time.
I love that. That's so great. How long do you think they were screwed because of that?
Oh, I don't know. I never went back. I did talk to a friend who used to work out there with me, and he went, Mike, they have no idea what all that shit you got written down out there means. They're fumbling through it.
That's great.
Which is probably why it never panned out, because they went, you know what?
We don't know what to do. We're screwed. We're behind the 8 ball now.
I say we buy another $10,000 piece of machinery and have it do it.
Yeah.
So,
but had it remained in place and had you remained with your crew, do you think, was it a system that worked well?
I would say the system they're using now is probably far more efficient.
Gotcha.
As far as drying things out and stuff, but it was costly.
Yeah.
And that's what they were trying to do, is they were trying to
offset
an inexpensive a thing that would perpetuate through years and years and years with was literally little or zero cost.
Yeah.
Which that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
In life, even.
Absolutely. So wastewater treatment onto asbestos removal because it was lucrative. What happened after that?
Truck driving. I decided that, man, the only thing I ever had fun at was driving trucks. So.
Is that when you made the phone call to Lisa and she said, do I get to call or do I get to...
Oh, that wasn't even a phone call.
A conversation? Can I quit my job and where's Idaho?
Everybody has seen Rambo. You know what I mean? When he goes through the spiel of, I used to operate $1 million equipment on a daily basis, and now I can't even, nobody trusts me to run a washing machine.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I used to drive these big old huge rigs and stuff. I'd haul tanks and Amtrak's around and pieces of equipment and stuff. You come out here and, no, dude, you don't have a commercial license, so you can't drive this.
I just protected our country for 4 years. Does that count?
But it's just a fact of the matter.
Right.
So I went, you know what? So what do I got to do to get a commercial license? Well, you got to go to 2 months of school.
God.
Done. I'll go. So I went and I got my commercial license, and I came back, and they had this job placement thing, and it never even crossed my mind how things would play out. And I get a phone call one day, and he says, "You want to come to work at West Best Trucking Company in Idaho, in Lewiston, Idaho?" Sure. Why not? And she came home from work, and I says, "You want to move to Idaho?" She says, "Sure. Where's Idaho?" And so I pointed it out on the map.
Yeah.
She goes, "Can I quit my job today?" Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Because we're leaving Monday for Idaho.
Yeah. I would not only that, I would recommend you do.
Yeah, and
collect your last paycheck on the way out the door.
So she did, and we did, and that was 1991, so 22 years ago.
I was 9 years old.
And
just for some perspective,
came up here and never left.
Nice. Yeah, I when did we meet? 2007 or 9?
I think it was probably 9.
2009. Yeah. So it's crazy to think about hearing these stories and then thinking back, like, what was I doing then? And you're like, yeah, 22 years ago. I'm like, oh, shit, I was 9 years old at the time. I was still
Don't get in a hurry, man.
Yeah,
it'll come.
Oh yeah, I fully understand that.
Don't get in a foot race over.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you'll do just like everybody else. You'll get up and walk by the mirror one day and go, "What the hell?
Where did that gray hair?"
Because inside you feel like the same old person.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's outside that things change.
Yeah. Well, and I'm coming up on my 32nd birthday already, and I remember specifically when I was littler going to church with somebody, and somebody said, I was like, "Well, how old are you?" Not really having a concept of time yet. I was like 7. He's like, "Well, I'm 32 years old." I'm like, "Good God!" Of course, little kid, I don't swear, but I'm like, "Whoa, man, that is old." Now I'm coming up on that same number. I'm like, I've barely lived so far, and wow, how short-sighted of me.
I like messing with people, man. I walk by, man, been a rough life, Dude, I don't know. You look pretty good. Dude, I am 27 years old. Oh, okay. Whoa. Got your point. You have a nice day.
Yeah, whoa. Something went wrong for you. You need to lay off the stress.
Oh, Lord. What do you do for a living?
So, I like asking you what's been bugging you, or what's one of your pet peeves of the week. I like that as something to chat about. What's on your mind this week? What's bugging you? My biggest peeve this week has been my work, man. Yeah. I gotta say, it is buried. They scared the shit out of my wife when she came home yesterday. Oh yeah. Yeah, because I was pissed. I was hot. Hollering and cursing and throwing? No, not quite to that point, but just angry, wrinkled up. Yeah. Like little testy. Yeah, like a rabid dog. Sure. And the wood that we use, folks, when we make these clubs, are these big old hunks of timber from the early last century. This like 1920s ish. Yeah, it's very rare, very good wood, and we hand pick this stuff, and we try to get it as knot free and flaw free as we possibly can. Well, I went through and found this. What are they? 5.5. We call them 6 by 12s or whatever. It was this huge hunk of wood that I could barely carry by myself, and it would look flawless. Mm-hmm. So I bought it. I brought it home. I sawed it up. I got it all dialed in for this guy that had ordered a set of clubs. I started turning these clubs. And inside the wood, where the tree has been damaged in its younger years, it will grow over and patch that wound. But what it leaves behind is what I call a pitch pocket, because it's a big flaw in the wood that's full of pitch.
Well, that's by no means furniture grade quality.
Kind of like, sort of like this going on.
And I am
right here.
working, man, trying to get that stuff cut because I'm thinking to myself, I got 4 pieces. You know, I can literally lose 2 of these pieces and still be okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even get 1 piece out of that. So I mean, by the time I hit the 3rd one,
you're screwed.
I don't have a set.
Yeah, odds are out.
So today we went back and
ooh, here we go. That's a pitch pocket.
Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about. It's big old flaw.
And
you could tell when it was a tree, something antler rubbed or another tree fell into it or something. And
basically, it came and put a big ding into the tree while the tree was still living, and then the tree
it patches itself with the pitch, and then it grows over, and that's what's left behind.
Yeah.
You can't see that from the outside.
Yeah, there's another one.
Pardon me. That is exactly what I'm talking about. And when that's in the middle of the wood, you can't see it.
Yep. There's another one.
Well, but nobody wants that on their stuff.
Right. I mean, you can dress it up, like, especially this one. Where did it go? Ah, crap. Anyway, like, you can work with it, and like if you're working with it on purpose and try to like accentuate the flaw or whatever, you can kind of do that. Like you have a set of clubs where you accentuate it a little.
Yes, but you see, this right here has got figuring. It's figured
There's
wood
something
on
cool.
one side, so you could literally look at that and go, "Hey, if I cut
cool.
this, this."
Or
what I'm looking at is that.
Yeah.
There's nothing
cool about that.
Hole full of pitch there.
Yeah, nothing cool about this at all.
Yes, there's no accentuating.
It's just a flaw in your wood.
It was a loss.
Yeah,
is what it was.
Yeah.
So this guy Larry, who we deal with for wood, we get in
old Larry.
Yeah, Larry's a good guy. I told him, man, it's that's the most expensive firewood I ever bought.
Yeah.
And he's looking at me, and I had forethought to take pictures. I pull it up on the phone and go, look, He goes, oh, well, then let's go get you a piece that works.
We'll fix this. Yeah, you're a good guy.
And
good guy.
Threw me a new piece.
Most dudes would be like, well, I'll have to charge you 50% off or something, but no, he's gonna straight up fix this up.
Make it good,
he's
man.
a good dude.
And please understand me, I'm still behind the 8 ball on this.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
It's still got me in the back, but I'll take the wood.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, and hopefully this piece will work out a little better.
Yeah, we're going to keep a good thought.
Yeah. Odds are on our favor, hopefully.
Yeah. So anyways, that's what got me going, man, because I couldn't win to save my life.
I hate that. I hate that so much.
I'm digging in my bag of tricks too, because I'm trying to figure out how
if I did this, or what if I tried that.
I even attempted to fill it with some walnut, because I'm going, this walnut's pretty much the same color as, because you can see the inside of that crack right there.
Yeah.
Looks an awful lot like about the black walnut color.
Yeah, that's close.
So
very
I'm
close.
thinking, if I fill that with that, maybe it'll just look like a hunk of... No.
Nothing?
No.
From far back, it just looks like a big crack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
At some point, you have to go, I need to quit wasting time.
Yeah, this is a waste, yeah.
Because all you're doing, you're farting in the wind, man. It's you're not getting anywhere other than just spending hours in a folly.
Yeah.
So,
fool's errand at that point.
I walked out last night, sat down, and I mean, no sooner did I sit down, because I usually come in about an hour earlier than that, because I cook, I make dinner, because my wife is off working.
Sure.
And so she comes in, and we sit down and eat and catch up, and how's your day going? Well, mine was, I ain't started dinner, and my day sucked, don't ask. And she knew.
Yeah.
And, God bless her, she does everything she can do to kind of smooth over shit. And I know us men like to pout.
Yeah, absolutely.
Women like pout too. We just pout in different ways.
Yes.
And I was angry, and I'm allowed a degree of pouting.
Sure, I think so.
But when it starts getting taxing,
yeah,
she's gonna let me know it's time to shut up and sit down.
Well, and then I always, like, one of my pet peeves is finding out really crappy news and then with no chance to vent or get the frustration out so you can then turn the negative into a positive in your brain. You're afforded no chance to get upset. You just immediately have to start thinking positive. That's what pisses me off, because like one thing that's been going on with me recently is I've been trying to sell my house, and things can literally change on an hourly basis. And with that kind of roller coaster, eventually something's going to catch up with you, and you're going to get pissed off and blow a stack. But then you tell somebody, you're talking with somebody, or somebody is happens to be there right as the disappointment happens, and you can't just be like, what the like, you can't just get upset. They're like, well, just, you got to remember that, like, everything happens for a reason. Like, would you just shut the hell up? I just want 2 seconds to myself.
What could possibly be the reasoning?
Right. So that's one thing that kind of is a peeve, is that I am by nature a pretty positive person, but for a good 20 or 30 minutes, I like to just get it out so I can get it all out of me, get the negativity out of me. I'll refocus my brain, I'll hit the reset button, and then I'll like, okay, well, here's how I'm going to spin this positively in my brain, and, I'll go to work on it. But if somebody's sitting there right then and starts trying to feed me the positive crap before I'm ready for it, I get really testy really fast.
I've made an observation over my time, and I think it's probably true. You pretty much got 3 kinds of people when there's stressful or emergency situations,
yes,
or things where immediate thinking and action are necessary. You got the guy that doesn't know what to do and runs around, oh my god, what
That's
do I
me.
do?
That's what I do.
You got the guy that knows what to do, does it best, and then falls apart when it's over.
Yeah.
And then you get the guy that has no effect on him whatsoever.
Yeah.
Well, boy, that kind of sucked, didn't it?
Yeah.
I'm the second one.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, don't panic.
Focus.
Do it. That's right. Make decision. Boom, bam, bam. Let's get done. And then, wow, man, we averted disaster there. Where's Mike? Well, he's over there throwing up.
Yeah, Mike's over there crapping his guts out.
Shaking like a leaf and throwing up. Well, it was good under pressure. Yeah, but now the pressure's over.
Yeah, the pressure's over, and now he's
trying to vent that adrenaline off.
Yeah. Now he's fighting off adrenaline overload.
And then the guy that didn't bother one bit comes over and taps you on the shoulder. You okay?
Yeah.
Do I look okay?
Yeah, screw off there, buddy.
I'll be okay in a few minutes.
Hold still, I'm going to puke on your shoes. You like that?
I'll be okay a lot faster if you get the hell away from me.
Yeah, you take that freaking positive energy and take it and shove it up your ass here for a second.
A beer would be helpful. Why don't you go get us a beer?
You know what? Why don't you go get us a whole pack? I'm sure we'll need all of them.
By the time you get back.
Yeah, we'll need all 12. I'm positive. They won't go to waste.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true though, man. You ever notice that? Because there's one in the crowd that don't know what to do. There's one that knows exactly what to do, and there's the other one with his hands crossed that just doesn't really see what all the excitement's about.
I can tell you categorically what type of I am by this story. I was on a motorcycle ride, and this is the ride that ended all rides for me. I have not been on a motorcycle ride since this ride. Firstly, it wrecked my bike. Secondly, I'm just not going to get on one again. But I was on a ride. It was an all-day ride, and it was a big group of us, probably 12 to 15 of us, if I remember correctly. And we're going down the Rattlesnake Grade. For those of you in the area, they know that it's a very, very windy, very dangerous road to go down, but also a really fun run to take.
Great on a bike.
Really great ride to take. So
I took a big rig down that one.
Oh my god!
Not on purpose.
Right. So we made the run to go just down to the bottom. There's a really cool little place at the bottom. It's called Bogan's Oasis, I think, right? And we get to Bogan's and we're like, well, screw it. Let's go all the way to Enterprise. And everybody looks at their gas tanks and they're like, well, if we make it to Enterprise, we can fill up an Enterprise, come back. So we take the risk. Everybody guns it for Enterprise. We all having a great time. Eat lunch in Enterprise, fill up, come home, stop by Bogan's again. Everybody takes a leak, waters their mouths or whatever we need to do. And then we all get back on the road, start heading back up the really windy canyon. And we're probably 2 to 4 minutes into it. And the gal in front of me takes a sharp curve to the left, a little too hot, goes right into the freaking, what's it called?
Gravel?
Goes into the gravel. The gravel puts her into the guardrail. And I come up to her, and I'm the only person. We were kind of bringing up the rear, so I was pretty much the only person that saw it happen. And what happened was I'm coming around the corner, and I tilt upright, see it happen. My brain, before I can even register what happens, panics, grabs the front handlebars in a panic, which makes me grab the brakes in a panic and sends me over my handlebars like a fucking idiot.
So you wrecked by proxy.
I wrecked by proxy, exactly. I watched her wreck, therefore I wrecked.
I'm sympathetic.
Yeah, sorry about that. Oh!
I'd help you, but I'm down too.
So I grabbed my bike, and I don't remember how it happened, but I one-arm my bike from the middle of the road, off the road, ditch it there, don't even care because it's down. I'm like, all right, it's down, so I'm not going to bother propping this up. Leave it there, run up on her, and I see her pinned between her bike and the guardrail, and I look over the guardrail, and there's a good 90-foot drop. So instantly I'm thinking, had she been just a little bit here or there, she would have just went, woo, dead. So that thought crosses my mind, and then I see her not moving, and I see blood coming out from underneath her helmet. And as soon as I see the blood, I don't know what came over me, but I don't know how else to describe it. I start flapping my arms, going, "Oh my God, what do I do? I don't even am I supposed to? Do I need to help? What? Oh my God, what do I do?" And it just so happens that a gal come around the corner. She didn't see it happen, but she saw me freaking out like a flippin' idiot, flapping my arms. Turns out she's a nurse.
Well, that's a stroke of luck.
Gets out, handles the entire thing like a champ, and she basically does exactly what you said. She's like, all right, he's obviously freaking out, so she sends me off on a task. Go do this. Mm-hmm. And I need you to go do this for me. And I go do that, and then and then a dude pulls up, and he's like, well, he could do this, and with the motorcycle being wrecked, I could load that up into the back. I'm headed towards town anyway. There's a place just down the street from me that I could drop it off. I mean, if that's not where she wants it, she can always, it will save her a tow truck bill and blah, 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 and just literally just making sure everything goes the way it should, but
if that's what
nothing,
you want.
Yeah, nothing really fazed him, and as it turns out, I ended up getting a ride with him, and he loaded my bike up into the back of his truck too, saved me a tow truck. And yeah, so we had an example of all three people, and me being the worst one of the three, had an example of all three people show up to that particular accident. So yeah,
it's wild, man. And throughout my life, you've always run into circumstances where things like that. I remember another job I did when I was a painter. I was in the Painters Union, mm-hmm. and they called from San Francisco, and they were putting roofing membrane on the new Marriott hotel that they were building there.
What's roofing membrane?
It's just a big rubber blanket is what it is, and they put styrofoam underneath, and it would make it pitch to the drains.
Oh, okay.
And then they would put Well, the seams had to be glued down. Well, they
Gotcha.
needed a union painter to paint the glue on.
Oh,
You know,
Lord.
that's the way
Okay.
things work in the union.
Gotcha.
You know? So I'm off doing this stuff. Well,
You're painting glue.
yeah,
Fun.
I'm a glue painter. Well, it made it feel funny. And-
This is a great job.
I'm not even hungry. And it steps up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You've seen Marriott's before, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Well, a welder falls from like 3 floors up, man. I mean, he landed on the styrofoam and it was soft and everything.
Yeah.
So he hits, but the problem was he impaled himself on a piece of electrical conduit that was sticking up, right? So he's laying there with this shit piercing through his belly, and a couple of guys they're freaking out and running around, and I'm 1 floor up looking over going, ooh, dude, that don't look good. You know?
That's gonna ruin his weekend.
Yeah, that's bad. And
Here's some Marriott's for everybody's
so,
entertainment.
yeah, bottom left corner there.
Where? Oh, sorry.
Oh, there's one there. 1, 2, 3, 4th over. You can see how they're kind of
Right here?
stepped. Yeah. Building like that. See how it's various levels.
Okay, yeah, I gotcha.
So, anyways, they finally get an ambulance there. They come up the elevator, which is a freight elevator because they're in a construction,
Yeah.
obviously. They get him pulled off of this, right? And they get him on the gurney. Well, the gurney won't fit opened up into the freight elevator. So they got to take him down the stairs.
Oh, my God.
Right? So they get about 3 stories down the stairs and dump him. The gurney gets away from him.
It's not
You
funny.
know? It was terrible. And I'm looking down, and you hear this clunk, 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 bam! And I'm thinking, this is not this guy's day.
Who did he piss off?
Oh, Lord. And, the word came back. He got in the hospital. They got him fixed up. Everything was fine. He ended up he wasn't coming back to work for a while.
I bet.
But, you know what? It wasn't a fatal injury, thank God.
Yeah. And it could have been.
But I thought at that moment, I'm going, dude, you want to be really careful on this job because,
that could have effed you up forever. I mean, had that hit his spine, oh man, he would have been screwed.
Right to the right of it, right through his belly. Man.
Oh God!
From the back all the way through him. And God.
Oh man.
It was terrible, man. It was kind of a fun job to work on, though, man, because
watching people fall and shit.
No, that was the only time I watched somebody fall, but I did set a guy up. His name was Bob. He borrowed $20 from me for lunch one time. And I'm sure people have seen them, the big concrete buckets that they have on the cranes and stuff like that. Well, on top of this rubber stuff, you have to, they call it ballast, and it's rock about this big around, and you got to rake it out, and it holds everything down so the wind don't blow it,
Gotcha.
So the crane's on this side of the building, and I'm on this side of the building, and I got a walkie-talkie, right? And you got to tell them, okay, right, down, easy, stop.
Mm-hmm.
So they know what to do to get it down to you.
Sure.
Well, they did this with this bucket of rock, and we're dumping it, and Bob's there, and Bob hadn't paid me in 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm kind of wanting my $20 back, And there's this big bar handle on there that you pull down, and it dumps. Well, you're looking at a big old bucket that's probably got a couple of tons of rock in it, right?
Yeah.
And you're looking at probably 20 floors of cable.
Okay.
Stretch out. So you got some elasticity there. It's going to stretch some.
A little bit, yeah.
And I realize this because I've already dumped a couple. Bob had just come up. Bob says, what do we do? I go, jump up, grab a hold of that handle, just hold on to it, and give it a jerk, man. And he jumps up. Boom! boom. Well, the thing goes up in the air.
Right, because
now he's too high to let go. And he's hanging there. And he's going, man, get me down. I'm going, you got my $20? It's going to cost you $20 to get down. Yeah, man, I swear to God. I don't believe you. Oh, I swear to God, I'll give you as soon as I get down. All right, down easy, stop. And he called me everything he could think of, but he gave me my $20.
I bet he did. Oh my God, that's genius.
And yeah, I got a good laugh out of that. And the best part of it is a couple of other fellas were up on the other floor watching, so word got around real quick. Mike got his money back from Bob.
That's really funny.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. That's when I was an applicator for a roofing company. It was actually a waterproofing company. They did caulking because on these buildings, these high rises, they're all welded. They're made out of welded steel.
Sure.
But then they put like these pieces of granite panels on the outside of them. That's what they're called, panels. And then they weld those on it, and that's what makes it look like it's made out of concrete and stuff like that. Well, and the seams have to be caulked to waterproof it. Well, on this particular building, and it was way up there. This was a tall building.
And where geographically
San
is this?
Francisco.
Okay.
And they had this big flagpole on the top of it, and it was like made out of granite, right? In sections. So the sections had to be caulked, because if you let water get in there, it freezes, it expands, and it'll break the rock.
Break it apart, yep.
So it had to be waterproof. The only way they could get somebody up there was to put them in what they call the bucket. It's a big thing, and the band gets inside of there. Yeah. And they were trying to get volunteers to go up there.
Screw that.
There ain't no way, dude. Yeah. There ain't no way. Don't even ask me, because you know what? You can't get me up there at gunpoint.
Put me up there on triple overtime? Yeah, no, thanks.
I'll take the gunshot before I do that. Yeah. Well, Larry, this guy that I was working for, he's going, should I'll go? And he gets in there, and they hoist him up. Well, the thing starts to spin as the crane's turning to bring him over there, and I laughed so hard I almost pissed myself, because you can hear this as he's spinning, going over there, man. And I mean, I laughed so hard I couldn't walk. And he got it done.
Yeah.
Got it done.
How did he get himself to stop spinning?
Well, once they got him up there, of course, he could grab onto the,
Okay.
But it was pretty comical. Yeah, because he's just going, ah! But, you got the oscillating voices,
That's great.
Oh, it was hilarious. He was small because he was way up there, man. I'm just going, Snikes, man. I'm glad that ain't me. There ain't no way. I don't like heights.
I would have pissed, crapped, and puked myself.
Well, he was bragging about how heights didn't scare him and stuff, so, he got to show us, and he did it.
Wow.
Not without screaming his lungs out, but he did it. So, kudos to Larry.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I've ever heard that story before. That's funny.
Yeah, that was funny. I don't know, man. Lots of funny stuff happened. It's just hard to remember. You can't just bring it up when you things got to trip your memory.
You can't just hit a button and call it up like you can on a computer, unfortunately.
Yeah, one thing reminds you of another.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what kind of Bob, the one that wouldn't pay me. This is the kind of guy he was.
Okay.
We were right next to there's this Catholic church, and all these homeless guys would be sleeping in the little archway there that goes to the door, you know, so they're kind of semi inside. And he'd walk in there every morning and go, "Oh, get up!
Oh,
I gotta be up, you gotta get up." I'm thinking to myself, what an ass.
What a dick.
Dude. The rest of us are buying burgers and and throwing it to him, dude. Man, sorry for you.
Yeah.
This guy, he's gonna go. Just to rouse him.
Thanks, Sam Kinison, you dick.
Yeah.
Imagine setting free Sam Kinison and all those guys. You lazy pieces of shit! Yeah, just what they need. Get kicked in the balls when they're down. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks.
They're wearing shiny pants and they ain't shaved in 2 months.
Right.
Trying to get a little shut eye. And if you ever been to San Francisco, it's always cold in San Francisco. So, yeah, they're,
shivering.
Yeah. Let them sleep.
Yeah. God, I'd be so pissed.
Buy them a corn dog at lunch or something,
Let them eat a corn dog with their corn clippers.
But yeah, that's the kind of guy Bob was. So you can see why I didn't feel too bad about hoisting him.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got about 5 minutes left to the show, and we have to talk about, at least for a minute or two, Super Bowl's coming up.
Super Bowl is coming
Pretty
up.
Exciting.
Super Bowls, and we do know one thing for sure about the Super Bowl. 49ers won't be in it.
That's right.
Yep.
You can suck on that. Not that I give a crap about that, but
well,
I am
as much shit as I've been spoon fed from 49ers fans over this season and a big hunk of last season. I don't feel so bad about it.
Yeah, several seasons before that.
Yeah.
I'm not the world's biggest sports fan. I didn't grow up watching it. My dad's not a sportsman. He's not a hunter. He's not a fisher. We didn't watch football together. I don't think I've ever played catch with my father before. It's just not really his thing. So I'm not the world's biggest sports fan, but I will get into it and watch the playoffs because I think the playoffs are really fascinating.
You seem to be a sports fan the other night.
I was a sports fan the other night. I was on the edge of my seat and I was having a good time hooting and hollering about it. But one thing that I will never, ever, 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 ever be able to understand is people that get into the back and forth as if they themselves have something to do with it. Well, my team can do this, and my team's been there 6 times, and they have 6 Super Bowl rings. Cool. Have you done anything to help with those 6 rings? No. Then shut the F up about it. Yeah. I do not care.
How many of those guys that's got them rings are playing?
Right. Exactly. I would wager to say probably none of those players are still playing because they'd probably be crippled by now. Yeah. So how about you just shut your mouth and enjoy your game and let us all enjoy it. You're ruining it.
It's a game, man, and it's the last one. Let's have a good time. Watch it and bit of fun fair day until August.
Exactly. So that is one thing that's one of my pet peeves of the week is sports. Fine, sports are cool, even like sportscasters, watching them bicker back and forth because they know about it and most of them have played before. But I unequivocally hate fanatical sports fans. Cannot stand them. I think there's no use for them. They're all just piles of shit.
I don't like to be a shit talker over it. I don't like it. I really don't. But I do like to invest just a little bit in it because it gives me the sense of something to lose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, oh my God.
I gotta eat my words now.
I don't want to have to eat my words. No, what if they lose?
Yeah.
And that's the game
fun.
Yeah, that makes the game exciting.
But you do it in fun and mostly out of jest. These people are literally talking about, I'm gonna beat your ass and physically harm you because of what? Because you know more about this game and you're a better armchair quarterback than I am? Good for you. Congratulations. You still blew out your knee and didn't make it to the big show.
Yeah.
Go screw yourself.
Yeah. Well, I don't get that heavily emotionally invested in it because it is just a game after all. You know what? Let's take it to the level to where we're gonna have fun and call it good. And when it's over, it's over.
Yes, exactly.
And
then everybody's friends afterwards. But no, it can't be that because well, this has to her and has to her. Yeah, just I think Facebook has enabled people to be royal assholes. That's the bottom line.
You know what? On the other side of the coin, no, man, I've got a lot of friends that are 49er fans, because years ago I used to be a 49er fan. And they still are, because it's where they're from, or still live in this type of thing.
Yeah.
And the first thing they did was sent me a note going, hey, congratulations, man, on your team's win.
Now,
man.
that I can respect. I like that.
And I said, man, thank you, man. That's what, it's been a hard road, man. We spent a lot of years on the downside of this.
And that's the way it's supposed to be. That's, in my opinion, that's good sportsmanship. Sportsmanship can be on the field. There can definitely be sportsmanship off the field amongst the fans. And that's poor sportsmanship to talk so much shit that you want to beat someone's ass over a stupid game. I
have one friend that still lives down there, and his name's Ray. I won't say his last name. Hardcore 49er fan. We used to work together at the wastewater treatment plant.
Oh, nice.
And thanks to Facebook, we're still in contact. And he's a hardcore. He's going, man, we used to bleed red together, man. What's going on? I go, man, I moved up here. I became a Seahawks fan. It's my local team. You know? And he's a very classy dude. Mm-hmm. He will never be aggressively,
douchey.
Yeah. He'll exchange a few facts with you, and you exchange a few back. And I go, I'll tell you what, how about we bet a dinner on this game when we go next time I come down? Who buys dinner? Yeah,
Niners and Seahawks. The game is bet on.
Yeah,
nice.
And the Seahawks won, so he sends me a note. Congratulations on your team's win. Looks like the steak's on me. You can eat steak and I'll eat crow.
Cool.
And I says, well, how about you eat a steak and I'll eat a steak and we'll enjoy the evening?
Yeah.
How about that?
Enjoy each other's company. Exactly.
Yeah.
That. And if every fan was like that, then that wouldn't be my peeve of the week, because.
But we had our little bet, and
and it was fun. Yeah. I can understand. I see all of that. I see the merit in it. I enjoy that. I think that's fantastic. It's just convincing, and it seems to me like your generation can do that. My generation has to resort to shit talking.
Well, I don't know that it's just your generation.
Or disproportionately more my generation.
That may or may not be true, but there's that you bring it up. That's kind of I was going to come up with some examples, but the examples I'm coming up with are for that generation.
Yeah.
Wow.
My generation, as a whole, my generation kind of sucks a bag of dicks. Honestly, I mean, there's some things we could improve upon. Still, we're still little kids.
When I was working at the wastewater treatment plant, there was a guy that his name was Clint. Mm-hmm. And I was a 49er fan then, and I would always bet. He'd go, who do you think's going to win the game this weekend? Well, the Niners are going to win the game. Oh, the Niners ain't going to win, and the Niners would win. And then they'd win again, and they'd win again, and they'd win again. And he comes up to me one time, and I go, you know what? I'm going to start playing this dude, because apparently it's something he's not getting here. And I says, how about this? Niners win, you buy me a pizza. Your team wins, I'll buy you whatever you want. All right, you're on. Well, the Niners won. So Clint had to come buy me a round table pizza for lunch. We went down to the restaurant, and that's where I got introduced into eating pizza dipped in ranch dressing.
Ooh, yeah, that's so good.
Never had it before. I went, ooh, that rocks.
Yeah.
Well, Clint was a good guy. We ended up kind of hanging out, and we'd go to the lake and swim and drink beer, and our ladies would pal around together and stuff like that. And finally, his tenure had come to an end. Mm-hmm. And let me back up a little bit. I used to play tricks on Clint. Mm-hmm. I would, put firecrackers in tomatoes, and then, hey, Clint, throw a tomato, boom, and Clint would always bite.
Yeah.
And he's going to run up, hey, Mike, before you go, I want to, and he trips and falls on his face into the dirt, and I turned around and went, dude, don't move. I want to remember you just the way you are. and turn around and walk. You know what? I've never seen him again since that day.
Oh no.
Yeah. Wonder whatever happened to Clint.
Yeah.
I hope life is good.
Hope he's still
happy.
alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I think.
Ray, I hope you're listening because he'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
That brings us to the end of the show. We both got our pet peeves of the week out, and we got to talk a bunch about some stuff that you did growing up, and jobs you've had, which I think we've touched on a few, but we didn't do them all consecutive. What led to what?
There's a few more in there.
Yeah.
And I've had a few jobs too.
Yeah. So that leads us to, just briefly, because we're already over time, but just briefly, we got to say that we are excited about what's going on at Rosewater Kinetics. Things are starting to look like they're going to start taking off a little bit.
They're taking off. They're starting to blow up.
Yeah.
Man.
So this is you go ahead and talk about a little bit what's going on. Just a brief.
Lots of orders are coming in. We had apparently somebody up in Canada dropped a article on us. And,
very nice nice of him to write us up on there.
Accolades and put us up on his website and all this kind of stuff. And
that led to like 3 orders in a row.
Yeah, from different places on the planet.
Yeah,
even.
Australia, one down in California.
And we're stumbling. One of the reasons why I was so upset with the wood this week.
Right. And this is this is what he was trying to pull off, was the enforcers.
Yeah, and everybody wants them, and we're trying to make them, man. We are. But things are moving along. We're hoping to expand a little bit, come up with a few more items. We're even going to do some work on the website this weekend.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're going to try and set up literally an interactive page for you people to come and hit some links, get some suggestions on what you can do, what you can buy, what kind of exercises will do what you want done for you.
Agreed.
Where to start, all of these things. What kind of a page do you want? I'm seeing all kinds of my furniture and all kinds of stuff.
I just put
freaking me out.
I just put in Google Images. I just put in Rosewater Kinetics, and it's got a lot of our stuff, and some of it's not ours too. So
we don't deal in lotions.
Yeah, we don't have a lotion line.
There's a picture of me.
Yeah, there's a picture. Well, actually, this is your show's. When you go to Time Spent Poorly, this is your show's picture cool. Or whatever. So, So
you're gonna want to go to rosewaterkinetics.com, and I would wait till Monday.
Yeah, we're doing some overhauling on it.
Have a look around, man. Have a look around and see if there's something on there you might want. Because you should. Yeah,
and if there's something on there, or if there's something that you have in mind that you don't see a representation of, I can't repeat this enough because it's the most important part of the whole thing. If there's something that you want but you don't see a pictorial representation of it on the website, just hit the contact us button and we'll make you a specific special order just for you, which is the dude from Australia. That's what he did. So he's going to go take a pee, I think.
Nope.
No?
I'm going to grab this.
Oh, right.
And show them.
This is our, I just kind of happened upon this. I got myself involved in a charity event that's tomorrow. And, here, let me see one. I'll hold one up nice and close. We're going to do a charity event tomorrow. And these are being donated, and this is everything's opposite. I'm doing it wrong. So this is for cervical cancer tomorrow. A gal that I work with, she got cervical cancer just kind of recently, and I told them that we would donate some clubs with the appropriate cervical cancer awareness ribbon, which happens to be teal. So
you try and mix up teal.
Yeah, teal's a hard color to come by.
Yeah.
Well, when you're mixing it, I mean. So do all those things. Go to Rosewater Kinetics. if you don't see something that you want, but you have something special in mind, just hit the contact us button. It'll come right to us.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, don't be shy to ask us about what color you want it to be, what the finish is going to look like, all that good stuff, what the shape could be or might be or whatever. Just get a hold of us. We'll make something special just for you.
Absolutely.
So I think that's going to bring us to the end of the show there, Mike.
Yep. Well, like I said, man, eat sparingly, eat lightly of simple foods, man. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to make you want to get outside. You're going to swing them clubs. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to loosen them joints up and make you feel just a little bit younger and a little more energetic than you did yesterday. Don't believe me? Just try it short term, but it won't be short term because you're going to see that I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah. I've been doing it for 3 weeks solid now. I've been eating lightly and swinging my clubs, and I can say that I am starting to get stronger. So I can feel it all through here a lot, like my arms and my back, and all of it's just...
The more you do, the more you want to do.
Yes, exactly.
And what it's going to do, it's going to get you back outside and doing them things you like to do. Remember the kind of stuff you used to do that you talk about that you used to do? Wouldn't you like to do it again? So just give it a try, man. Get outside. Enjoy the sunshine, man. Live your life in 3 dimensions, not in 2. We're out.
Like what you hear? Find all of this and more at timespentpoorly.com.